was never meant for public distribution.
And so it was never meant for public distribution, so I was like...
And was intended for coaches, not evidence-based fitness nerds.
The trendsetter.
This is stupid. Science is supposed to be shared to the world. What's the point of running a study if no one can see the results from it? And...
It's stronger than Mike Metzer. That's it. Yeah.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Back again, and the Mr. Solomon Nelson has just dropped another video. My response to Mike Israetel and Dr. Layne Norton. I've already watched the video. Definitely go watch it if you have not already. I'll have the video link in the description, but it basically just goes over Mike's response to Solomon's critique, because Mike obviously had some interesting things to say about it, some interesting ways to try and cover it up, sweep it under the rug, but it ain't really working as he's going on a mass damage control, deleting massive amounts of comments, you know, playing down how bad the thesis actually was, lying. So gonna be going over Solomon's video. Obviously, probably not going through the entire video in today's video because this video is 40 minutes and I don't have all that much time. So we're going to be going through a portion of it, letting you know exactly what I think, because something that's also interesting is it's not just a response to Mike, but also Layne Norton. This further emphasizing the science-based circle jerk.
Continue the circle jerk
they got going on. So let's see what we got going on today.
A significant portion of Mike's defense focused not on the facts of the thesis, but on me personally. First, Mike questioned my motives.
I just have to say, motives don't matter. Okay, maybe obviously Solomon and Mike don't have the greatest relationship, but regardless of what his motives were, the critique is still valid regardless of what it was. The thesis was bad, so regardless of if his motives were, I want to better the industry or I want to expose Mike Israetel for being a fraud, they're both valid reasons for doing this. So I think that's bullshit.
Right?
Done in bad faith.
Did the least charitable, most bad faith critique of it possible. Solomon was doing this in maybe some combination of bad faith, like he just really wants to take me down. So the group that puts out these critiques, Solomon Nelson, Lyle McDonald, Johnny Shreve type folks, they're just known for doing things in bad faith.
This is hilarious because it's so contradicting, and it goes the complete other way when Mike goes on podcasts and starts insulting Solomon Nelson, saying crap, talking shit about him.
I think he's a pussy. I think he's a rag and a fatard.
So is Mike arguing in bad faith? I would think so. So again, another contradiction. 2 points Solomon, 0 points Mike Israetel.
Mike questioned my associations. He linked me to my friend Lyle McDonald, whom he called one of the most bad faith actors in all of fitness.
He has a gentleman who's in a lot of videos with him. His name is Lyle McDonald, and this is like a person who is like maybe like one of the most bad faith actors in all of fitness.
In a clear attempt at establishing guilt by association.
This is stupid. Just because you're not friends with someone and they're friends with someone, because you're friends with someone you don't like, that is the most bullshit argument. Oh, they're doing this in bad faith because I don't like someone they're friends with. I mean, come on, man.
When not attacking my character, Mike pivoted to reframing my criticisms as trivial, context-dependent, or irrelevant. First, Mike gave the 1/3 of his PhD defense. He argued that his PhD was unique, consisting of 1/3 coursework, 1/3 practical coaching, and only 1/3 dissertation.
So this is something I didn't even know about, but Mike had a special PhD where this dissertation was only 1/3, and he's going to go on and argue that because the dissertation part was only 1/3, that means that it can be sloppy and the other two things can be good, and then you can pass. So the dissertation only has to be 1/3 up to par. But Solomon goes on about in this video that that's completely bullshit. Just because that only makes up 1/3 of the PhD doesn't mean that it should be 1/3 the quality of a regular thesis. Now Solomon goes and he talks about maybe it should be 1/3 the length, but the quality of the research and everything like that should still be up to par. No? So Mike, again, these arguments, he's trying to lighten the blow. He's trying to make it seem like it wasn't as bad or there were stipulations on it. So he's really trying to weave his way around all this criticism, and it's simply not working. This is so stupid.
Mike gave the clerical error defense. He insisted that the hundreds of errors I spotted were exclusively clerical.
And it had like some formatting stuff, like the citations were formatted weird and all that stuff. So it was exclusively clerical errors.
And that he simply flubbed the submission.
What ended up happening was I flubbed the submission to the graduate school.
Two things. One, the clerical errors alone should have been enough to where this PhD failed. And two, there was so much more than just grammatical and formatting errors. Mike, again, in previous videos stated he didn't even watch Solomon's video.
Mike hasn't even watched Solomon's video.
So how would he know if Solomon just did clerical errors? He admitted in Milo Wolf's response video that he didn't even watch it. So how would he know? So it's not just grammatical errors. It was there's literally a list. Yeah, in the description of Solomon Nelson's video or in the comments, he literally gives timestamps for every single thing wrong with his PhD. Like this one, lack of command and critical assessment of the substantial and complex body of knowledge, poorly justified methods, unnecessarily complicated, incompetent data entry, ineffective communication of research findings.
I'm both on a raw IQ scale smarter than almost every coach, maybe every coach.
So it's not just grammar and spell check, it's a crap ton of stuff. So he's lightening the blow. So most people, I would say anyway, probably did not watch Solomon's whole video. Obviously I did, because I want to know all the ins and outs of fitness and stuff. So most people probably didn't watch that video. So when Mike Israetel says, yeah,
he corrected a few grammatical errors. I spelled like sense as like science. Shit like that. So, yeah, that was really it.
It was a lot more than that.
He argued that my critique was unfair because his thesis is 12 years old.
Okay, slow clap. You criticized the dog. You're like my first piece of writ large scale academic work 12 years ago. Congratulations, slow clap. You're the fucking man. Like scuzzy bitch move, right?
Was never meant for public distribution.
And so it was never meant for public distribution. So I was like,
and was intended for coaches, not evidence-based fitness nerds.
This is stupid. Science is supposed to be shared to the world. What's the point of running a study if no one can see the results from it? And when he goes, you critiqued my first piece large-scale project. Wow, congratulations, it was 12 years ago. Here's the thing, Mike brings that up, the fact that he has a PhD in like every single video of his career. So he brings up the fact, what gave him that PhD to call himself doctor, he brings up literally every day of his life. It's in every single video, Dr. Mike, Dr. Mike, Dr. Mike, Dr. Mike. So he's bringing up the fact that he has this PhD every day. So why should we not be allowed to question and take a look at and analyze what gave him that title of doctor, which is his thesis? So to say, oh, I did this 12 years ago, so it's bad, does that mean all your university work was bad then? Everything was bad? So just magically after this PhD, no, then everything was freaking good. Bro.
He even questioned if it was ethical for me to have obtained it.
Actually, I have no idea how he got it. I don't even know if it's ethical for him to have that document.
When you make a PhD thesis and it's uploaded to the internet, whenever you upload something to the internet, that's pretty much not yours anymore. Anyone can take that and have that. So how is it unethical for him to have... I have it downloaded now too. Is it unethical for me to have Mike's PhD thesis? I don't just have Mike's PhD thesis. I have quite a few other people's. Is it unethical? Why is it unethical? It was uploaded as a finished product by the university for other people to read and learn about science. I mean, they're probably not learning much from Mike's PhD, considering they can't read the first freaking 5 sentences because of all the grammatical and typographic errors. So, hey, I mean, maybe it's unnecessary for anyone else knowing how bad this PhD thesis is to have it, but to say it's unethical for them to have it, I think is dumb because it's been published by the university. So it's unnecessary in the sense that it's not going to give anyone any better knowledge on health, fitness, training, nada, zippa, no. The stuff that he goes on that leaner athletes are faster and can jump higher than fatter athletes is very common knowledge, and somebody probably wouldn't even be able to extract or read the information from it because they wouldn't understand it because there's so many errors that it looks like or appears to have been written in a different language.
He argued that the underlying ideas of his research were sound and not obvious at the time, making the presentation issues secondary.
But I believe one of the criticisms was something like, okay, so like his dissertation shows that like bigger athletes are stronger and that stronger athletes like run faster. Like, isn't that obvious? Well, at the time that we were doing our dissertation, it was not obvious on 2 fronts. It was illustrated that lower body fat percentages led people to sprint faster and jump higher. Now, an immediate implication of that to coaches would be like, how are your athletes' diets? But here's the thing, even within the sample of D1 athletes, that was true. And they're all pretty lean and pretty jacked. If you look at that data set in our study of 88 Division I athletes, you start to be like, oh, holy shit, even for these people, working on your nutrition and working on your weight training matters. Many, many people are under the illusion that at elite levels of athletics, at high levels, getting jacked doesn't pay dividends, it'll slow you down. Getting leaner, we're not trying to step on stage, who cares how they look?
And I find it funny how Mike talks about, oh, that his thesis idea, it was a good thing to study because at the time this stuff wasn't clear, but it's kind of contradicting that in his own thesis he said that this stuff was already well supported by the literature at the time.
Concedes this throughout the document. For instance, in chapter 3, Mike explicitly notes that the finding that stronger athletes produce higher rates of force development has been previously well supported in the literature, and that the finding of higher power generating abilities being associated with stronger athletes is well supported by previous data. On the following page, he acknowledges that stronger athletes, especially relative to their body mass, tend to jump higher and sprint faster, and that his findings merely show trends in this direction. Across multiple lengthy interviews, Mike Israetel never once addressed the central, most damning part of the entire scandal: his fabrication of a fraudulent document in an attempt to cover up the initial problem.
And that is something that he has totally tried to sweep under the rug and has not addressed anywhere else. And he hasn't even really admitted to it. On Instagram, he admitted to having a little mix-up, but we all know him and his team and Milo Wolf tried to edit that freaking document and make a revised version with most of the errors taken out, and present it to us as the actual finished draft. But people have kind of forgotten about that. So I think it's good that we got a little refresher of that lie that Mike still has not currently admitted to.
Get it how you live it. Jeff Nippard, Jeff Nippard, yeah. Trendsetter, Jeff Nippard, yeah. Science-based lifter, Jeff Nippard, yeah. Quick stepper, Jeff Nippard.